the Blackout Challenge. Between 2021 and 2022, a challenge started circulating that seemed almost too stupid to be real. It was called the Blackout Challenge. The game was simple. You would choke yourself or hold your breath until you passed out, supposedly to get a brief, euphoric high. The participants? Mostly kids between the ages of 8 and 12. In Pennsylvania, a 10-year-old girl named Nyla Anderson tried it using her mother's handbag strap. She put her head through it and leaned forward, accidentally recreating the conditions for self-strangulation. She was found unconscious and died 5 days later. In Milwaukee, 9-year-old girl named Ariane Arroyo did the same thing. She lost consciousness and never woke up. Down in Texas, 8-year-old Leilani Erica Walton also lost her life to the same trend. These weren't isolated incidents. Reports suggest that over 100 people, mostly children, have died attempting this challenge. In the UK, a 12-year-old boy named Sebastian died in his bedroom in July 2025 attempting this viral challenge. The official numbers are probably much higher. The aftermath for these families isn't just grief. Many of them are now suing TikTok, arguing that the algorithm served this deadly content to their children. The Benadryl Challenge. The Benadryl Challenge told kids to take massive doses of the common allergy medication, sometimes up to 12 to 14 tablets at once, in order to induce hallucinations. The problem is, Benadryl isn't a party drug. At high doses, it's a toxin. In 2023, 13-year-old Jacob Stevens from Ohio decided to try it. He took a dangerous amount, and the effects were immediate and catastrophic. He ended up in intensive care, where he fought for his life for days before dying. The side effects of this challenge, as reported by hospitals, include seizures, heart problems, and coma. It got so bad that pediatric wards saw massive spikes in ER visits. After Jacob's death, TikTok released a statement saying they block such content. But for Jacob and his family, the warning came far too late. The Tide Pod Challenge. Remember 2018? It feels like a lifetime ago, but this was the year that teenagers decided it was a good idea to bite into laundry detergent pods. The Tide Pod Challenge was visually absurd. Someone would hold a bright, squishy laundry pod up to the camera and take a bite. The result wasn't a funny video, it was a medical emergency. The chemicals inside those pods are designed to dissolve grease and grime. Inside the human body, they cause chemical burns, seizures, vomiting, and respiratory failure. According to data, between 2016 and 2020, there were 35,000 emergency room visits from people under the age of 18 related to eating detergent pods. Over 12% of those cases required hospitalization. The trend got so out of hand that lawmakers in New York actually attempted to ban the production of brightly colored detergent packets to stop kids from eating them. The Fire Challenge. The Fire Challenge involved teens pouring rubbing alcohol or hand sanitizer on their bodies and setting themselves on fire. The idea was to film the flames and then put them out quickly. Obviously, it rarely goes to plan. In 2023, an Arizona teen attempted a version of this called the Fireball Challenge, which involved trying to ignite rubbing alcohol to create a makeshift fireball. He ended up with burns covering over half of his body. Other participants have suffered severe infections, respiratory damage, and permanent scarring. The visuals might have been shocking enough to get views, but the cost was a lifetime of medical trauma. Table surfing. Table surfing was a trend where people would tie a folding table to the back of a moving car. Someone would sit or lie on the table while the driver sped up, essentially using it like a makeshift sled. In June 2025, two 17-year-olds in Pennsylvania decided to try it. One was driving, the other was on the table. The driver whipped the car hard, and the rider was flung off directly into a parked car. The impact killed him instantly. The driver is now facing involuntary manslaughter charges. This same tragedy echoed another case from March 2025 in the same area, where a 20-year-old woman tried to surf on the trunk of a friend's car. She was thrown off and suffered catastrophic, permanent brain damage. Subway surfing. You might have heard of or played the video game called Subway Surfers. Unfortunately, some kids decided to make it a reality. In New York City, a disturbing trend called subway surfing emerged, where teens would climb on top of moving subway trains, dodging tunnel beams and electrical lines, and filming it all for TikTok. In the early hours of October 4th, 2025, two girls, 12-year-old Zemfira Mukhtarov and 13-year-old Ebba Marina, snuck out of their homes in Brooklyn. They were part of a group of up to 15 teens climbing train cars. At some point, they were struck and fell onto the tracks. They were later found dead on the rails. Zemfira's mother, Natalia, was devastated. She told reporters that her daughter was obsessed with posting challenge videos. She had warned her, but she couldn't lock her up. Their TikTok accounts were filled with videos of them trespassing and taking risks. The statistics are grim. In 2023 alone, 6 people died from subway surfing in NYC. By October 2025, the count was already at 5. The Whole Burger Challenge. In November 2025, a 22-year-old student in Greece sat down at a restaurant with his friends. They decided to do a whole burger challenge, which involved swallowing an entire burger in one bite without chewing. While attempting the challenge, the burger became lodged completely in his throat, blocking his airway. For 2 full minutes, he couldn't breathe. His friends watched as he panicked, struggled, and collapsed. He was rushed to G. Genemata's hospital in critical condition. Doctors fought for a week, but the damage from oxygen deprivation had already destroyed his vital organs. He died 7 days later. He was 22 years old, and he died because a burger blocked his windpipe in a race for a viral moment. The ChatGPT devil trend. In late 2025, a trend called the devil trend emerged. Users would ask AI chatbots like ChatGPT, "The devil couldn't reach me. How?" The AI would then generate a brutally honest, introspective list of the user's flaws and emotional struggles. 19-year-old Claire Tracy, a soccer player and finance major at Rice University, participated in this trend. She posted a video showing her AI conversation, where the bot talked about her seeing too clearly and chasing meaning until it became harmful. She captioned it, "In chat we trust, he ain't wrong." A day later, she posted a final cryptic video. On December 7, 2025, she was found dead in her off-campus apartment from helium suicide. Her death has sparked a massive conversation about the ethics of AI, the weight of words, and whether a trend that encourages deep self-criticism is pushing vulnerable people over the edge. The Chroming Challenge. In early 2025, an 11-year-old boy named Freddie Davis was at home in East London. Freddie had been at a friend's house the night before, and on the night of January 19th, he told his mom, Roseanne, he was having trouble sleeping. She did what any mom would do and offered to charge his phone and wake him up at 6:30 a.m. for school. The next morning, Roseanne went into his room and called out, "Fred," like she always did. No response. She opened the door and saw him lying face down. She called again. Nothing. She put her hand on his shoulder and felt he was colder than he should be. In that moment, her world collapsed. She dialed 999 and told the operator, "I think my son is dead." When the police arrived and rolled Freddie over, a can of Ted Baker body spray fell out from his dressing gown. There was a strong chemical smell in the room. Toxicology reports later found propane, butane, and isobutane in Freddie's system, which were the propellants from that aerosol can. Freddie had tried something called chroming. It's a trend where kids inhale common household substances like aerosols, nail polish, and paint to get a quick high. They'll spray the can into a sock or a bag and breathe it in. The problem is, spraying aerosol directly into your airways can cause immediate heart arrhythmias or put you into a coma. It's Russian roulette with a deodorant can. A year before Freddie died, his mom had seen videos of the chroming trend on TikTok. She warned him about it. She even stopped buying aerosol deodorants and switched to roll-ons to protect him. But on that Sunday night, he somehow got his hands on a can. Nobody knows where it came from. Roseanne believes a friend introduced him to it. At the inquest, the coroner ruled it an accident. The cause of death was inhalation of butane aerosol propellant. Roseanne now won't even have aerosols in her house. "These things do kill people," she said. The coroner urged parents to be aware of the danger, saying there needs to be more publicity about how deadly these everyday products can be when misused. The Knockout Door Challenge. In December 2025, a woman named Desani Sid left her home in Deltona, Florida for a bit. While she was gone, a group of teenagers decided to do a TikTok challenge. Not a choking challenge or a fire challenge, this was the old ding-dong ditch prank, but with a violent twist. The trend involved running up to someone's door, kicking it open as hard as you could, and then running away filming it. They picked Desani's house. They ran up, kicked her door in with full force, and bolted. Inside the house was Desani's 3-year-old Yorkshire Terrier, a little dog named Spooky. The violent crash of the door being kicked in absolutely terrified the poor animal. Spooky panicked, bolted out the open door, and ran straight into the street, where an oncoming car instantly struck and killed Spooky. When Desani came home, she found her door busted in and her dog dead in the road. Her doorbell camera was broken, so she had no footage of who did it. For weeks, she had no justice. She told reporters, "If they had smashed my window, if they had broken my things, I wouldn't care, but my dog did not deserve this." The case eventually got media attention, and authorities reopened the investigation. By late January 2026, police announced they had identified suspects and planned to press charges. But for DeSanti, there's no bringing Spooky back.